welcome everyone back to a very special episode of the Spilled Milk Podcast. I guess all the episodes are special, but we got some love from Alberta. You know, we've been in the DMs for a while, you know, sending each other dick pics and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I get hard these days. I need dick pics.
Yeah, but we got Sukh, Singh, the Brown comic, you know, and I'm super glad to have you on. I want to appreciate that you came on. Thank you so much, man. Thanks
for the love, brother. Thanks for having me. I'm super excited. It's actually my second time in the city.
Yeah.
But I still feel this is like shit town.
Yeah, shit town.
It's
Okay.
shit town.
You know what? Let's get into that right away. The last time you were here, where'd you kind of stay? Because you mentioned we were talking before we got here. You stayed in kind of Maple Ridge. Maple Ridge is not Vancouver.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Because like the last time I was here for a gig, right?
Yep.
And then as I was telling you, like maybe the venue was closer to that location.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know anything about the city, so let's just rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was not rinse and repeat. It was like shitty.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like, and then I was talking to you, and you're like, dude, that's like too far away.
Yeah.
From Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know Vancouver was this big.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of little pockets because like remember I was saying like, oh, I'll pick you up from the airport, and then you're like, oh, I'm landing in Abbotsford, which is the Abbotsford airport.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh fuck, you know, because I live in Richmond, I live like 10 minutes away from YVR, so I was assuming, you know, you're from here, you'd be staying local, and I guess that's just an assumption that we all make when anyone's flying in.
Oh yeah,
it's like you know I wouldn't think that you would have been staying in Maple Ridge at all.
I learned it pretty quick. Like I was telling you, like it was like a 50 minutes drive.
Yeah,
it's pouring.
Yeah,
and then on my Uber, I see an Asian dude driving me.
You know?
I'm like, God is sending me signals. It's like this is gonna be your final day.
Oh man, the little bit of rain makes people go pretty crazy in this city. You know, you'll see a lot of little, you know, traffic accidents, a lot of crazy stuff. Like right now, we're going through this atmospheric river. Yeah. But there's massive flooding because it's fall as well. So a lot of the drainage is blocked up by leaves. And people are actually driving through this, but they're getting stuck because the water is actually lifting their cars and people had to abandon their vehicles. Crazy.
Is it really happening?
Yeah, it's happening right now. I did, you know, when you said like, oh, is there going to be flooding? Like, I'm like, oh, no, there's probably not going to be flooding. It's fucking rain, right?
I didn't even know that. Like, so this is what happened. I landed, booked an Uber. It was our Desi guy.
Yeah.
I sat in the Uber. He goes, do you live here? I'm like, no, I'm from like Edmonton.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, do you know it's a flood warning for the next 2 days? I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah.
I chose the worst time to fly in.
You brought it with you.
Yeah, probably. I brought it with
the Albertan energy.
That's how it is. Like Albertans don't like people in Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to end Vancouver.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a hero for people in Alberta.
Yeah. Oh, fuck him. But honestly, so for people who don't know, you know, you are a stand-up comedian in the game, and like, you know, I'm super interested in always getting to know people who are in that gig, because like I foresee me transitioning from this eventually into mixing in a little bit more stand-up. So I try to want to absorb as much as I can. But tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, what your sets are like, you know, and just how you kind of got into stand-up.
So I'll start with how I got into stand-up. So I had like, as like any other immigrant, when you move to Canada, you have like a dream job in your mind.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, my dream job was being a data scientist, right? Mm-hmm. I worked my ass off for like getting into the profession. Got my job like 2.5 years ago, and then started working. I was super excited. 3 months in, I was like, if I don't find anything else to do, I'll fucking shoot myself.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like those like clips in those movies, right? When the guy just pulls a revolver out of the drawer and just shoots himself in the head. I'm like, I have to find something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have ever told this to anyone, but I actually had a fucking dream.
Okay.
That I'm on stage talking shit, people are laughing, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's try.
Yeah.
Went on to my first open mic, and it was all comics.
Yeah.
All comics. But there was one guy, I still remember, and he's still friends with me. He's a really good friend of mine, Tasir Hussain. He's like, you have some funny shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. That actually made me do it more.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep exploring, let's keep trying. And then one set after the other, you kind of like start learning the art.
Yeah.
You kind of like start working your stuff out. You know how to say things. It's not like it's if you treat stand-up comedy as a conversation between the boys, you'll be funny all the time.
Okay.
You'll be funny all the time. Like at least for me, it's like if you don't think, you just say funny stuff out, it's gonna be funny, right?
Like I mean, you're not trying to science it too much, and
I don't. I tried it in the beginning, because when you're new, you don't know stuff, and you are so scared. You're scared to try something new. Plus, you're scared of all the critics and people who are judging you while you're on stage. And luckily or unluckily, in my like early days of comedy, like I'm still in my early days of comedy, but like in like super early days of my comedy, I did a joke on stage, and after that, when I posted it online, I actually had death threats from people.
Wow. What was the joke? Now you got to say
I don't want to say the joke because I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm gonna say the joke. I'm gonna say the joke, but I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Getting some death threats. Welcome to the club.
Yeah,
being
people
sick in the creative space. Welcome to the fucking club.
It was actually that. Like I was at Yuck Yuck's Calgary, right? Doing my bit, and then my buddies were in the crowd. We were enjoying. We were having fun time. And then, it actually boosts your energy when you have your friends in the crowd. You are actually talking to them, and you're sharing your fucked up thoughts with them, right? So, true story. I like clipped the joke. It was like 15 seconds, 15 seconds of a TikTok, right? And I was like talking to my buddy. We were having a couple beers, and I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking of posting this." He goes, "Do it, but you're gonna have pushback." You're going to have some real pushback. So I was like, okay, fuck it. I don't know. How mad can people be? So I posted it, 12 in the night? 12 in the night I posted it. 7 in the morning I woke up. I had 30,000 views and then 1,000 comments.
Like, you know when it goes viral out of nowhere? It's never for a good reason.
Never for a good reason. But I believe that, I won't say the joke out loud, but the joke was not a joke. It was just a fact that I stated on stage. Right? People are fighting in the comments with each other. I was like, I don't want to step in, right? Keep fighting. But then I was new to all that exposure, right? I've never had that much like exposure in front of people or people commenting on my posts and everything. And I was new to like posting stuff online. Right?
That's a lot to kind of take in, you know what I mean? Because like, in this space, you kind of do know what you're signing up for. Like, we all walk into the space thinking like, oh yeah, no, we're going to deal with hate, this and that. But sometimes you don't realize the extent of where it's going to go, you know, then like how much pushback you're going to get on something that maybe you even thought was, you know, just kind of like a throwaway comment, right? Like,
absolutely
crazy.
Absolutely. You know? Like what happened, so I did that, and then all of a sudden I had tons of people sliding into my DMs, be like, you ever come to Surrey, you ever come to Toronto, we're going to fucking kill you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, over a 15-second clip, you need to have some humor in your life.
Absolutely.
And then I was new, so I was like, let's debate with these people. But then I forgot, like, debating with people online is like literally shooting yourself in the head.
Absolutely. I struggle with that a lot.
Right?
Because sometimes I don't like people fucking twisting the narrative. So like I do kind of clap back. And I'll clap back with like a funnier comment. But it's always like I said, I have to be better at that. And like I have started to kind of just like, you know, let it kind of flow wherever.
Like I try to let it go. But still once in a while. I do it. I'm like, fuck it. Let's just if I have something funny in my head, I'm like, let's do it. Right, but then okay, for that one, so they started sliding in my DMs, and I'm like, I was so overwhelmed. And then the club I was performing at, Yuck Yuck's Calgary, I went there after a week, and then the guy, the manager, he greeted me like, "Hey, how's everything going? How's comedy going?" And I'm like, "It's good." Well, like, why are you asking me all these questions? Because I'm pretty new to your club. I had in my back of my head, I had like something is going on. And then he goes, how's your social media going? When he asked that, I'm like, oh, fuck.
So he knows.
And then he goes, you know what? People have been calling in. People have been calling in saying, if you let that guy go on stage again, we're going to sue you. And we're going to sue him. And the guy had the most gangster reply ever. He goes, try, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I respect you.
Yeah.
You're the first white person I
Off
actually
camera,
love.
I'm definitely going to ask you about what this was.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you off camera what it was. And this was not the only experience. I had this kind of like similar experience, like probably 3 or 4 months ago. Again, I did a joke and people are so offended. I'll tell you that joke for sure, because I'm like, I did nothing wrong in that one, and I am fully in defense for that, because I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you think. You have to understand the context of what I said.
And context is absolutely everything.
Right. So, but anyways, back to that story. So he's like, this is what they said, and then like he goes, and this is, I actually really appreciate him. He goes, you go on stage, you do whatever you want to do. We are with you.
Yeah.
If we see anyone opening their phones recording you, we're gonna kick them out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Right. But then again, people started posting on their own social medias. They started tagging the mayor of Calgary.
Wow.
In my post, the Calgary police. I think I still have that post online. I never took that post off. I did take the joke down because I was so overwhelmed with people like reaching out to me with death threats.
Yeah.
My family doesn't even know that. If my mom knows this, she'll be like, "Stop doing this shit. Why are you even doing it?"
Oh yeah.
Right. But then they started posting on their own social media, started tagging Calgary police. They're like, this guy is offending this religion. This guy is offending that religion. You should not look into it. And I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
But then I talked with one of my buddies in comedy, and he goes, you know what you did wrong? You took the post down.
Yeah. You allowed them to police you.
Which is in like an indirect way, you apologizing for what you said. But I never apologized. But he's like, yeah, you never apologized, but you took the post down. Yeah. I took it down because I was so overwhelmed that people are like 12 in the night. People are like giving me those Insta calls and everything. Like, we're gonna kill you, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? And then it doesn't help. So when you have like your close buddies, when you have your boys with you, they always joke about this. Like, dude, you have to look over your shoulders all the time. I'm like, dude, it's not helping. It's not. Give me some solutions.
You know what it is? It's like one thing I have kind of realized is that majority of people are never going to say anything to you in real life. Now, I had to deal with a pretty unpleasant situation where I made this one TikTok about putting bashad oil in your beard, but I overdid it, right? Yeah. And I was like, these are disturbing things you see at the Gurdwara. So using the word disturbing to a lot of people who English isn't their first language, they're not understanding the context of that word.
Oh, absolutely.
And I got killed for this. Like, people were making videos. People were like, you know, show the head of the Gurdwara as this is the sentiment. I'm like, yo, I didn't even think about it that deep, but same thing. I spoke to a few people and I'm like, I can't take this down because then they'll have won.
Yeah.
And I just have to take the heat, make other content, and everything dies out eventually, right?
That's what I learned after that incident and talking to people is like, if you believe what you said was not wrong and you didn't say it to offend someone, you should not take it down. So now what happened, like few months back, I was in Edmonton doing a show. So there was like a table of like white ladies, 3 white women, and then there was a white dude sitting with them, and right in the front, right? And I was on stage doing my stuff, and then all of a sudden, like, they started like commenting and in a fun way, right? I had this joke about yoga. Yeah, right? I do this joke about yoga because I'm actually scared of saying the N-word.
All right, guys, we take a quick break to shout out one of my sponsors, Wolfco, who actually makes some of the most premium underwear that I've ever worn. I'm not just saying that. Like, they got the vented front here, you know, when your regions get a little bit hot, and they got the vented back here when your regions get a little bit hot. No more sweat, no more smell. This is some really, really good underwear. And as you can see by this picture, it makes your package look real nice too. Wolfco. Yeah.
And then white people get uptight. They're like, oh, he's talking about that. And I'm like, no, I'm talking about namaste.
Yeah.
Because if I say it, white women literally pull their yoga mats out. Yeah. Right? And then we started having a conversation, and this white lady, all of a sudden, I was on stage, and she greeted me, said, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Which is, a greeting in Hindu religion.
Yeah.
So she took me.
Ignorant.
Yeah. So she took me. So she took me as one of the people from the Hindu religion.
Yes.
So all I did is I corrected her. I was like, miss, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Because you got the wrong religion.
Yeah.
Right? And people are like, you are saying Hinduism is the wrong religion. I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
When they're looking to pile on, they'll fucking
And then I'm like, I'm never gonna apologize for this. I'm never gonna take it down, because if you walk on the street, like what if say someone from the Hindu religion, and by the way, I have no issues with anyone.
Yeah, of course you have to say that.
I have no issues with anyone, right? Like disclaimer, right? I have no issues with anyone from any religion. You can be of any background. If you treat me good, I'll treat you good, right? If you're walking on street and suppose your name is you are a Hindu, right? But somebody greets you with a Muslim greeting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you correct them?
Yeah, of course.
Right.
And there's a way you correct them.
Right.
I mean, if it's aggressive, then like maybe you took it a little bit too far. But if you just go like, yo, man, I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucked up because you got the wrong religion.
Yeah.
And everybody in the room was laughing. There were people from both the religions, from Sikh religion, from Hindu religion in the room.
Yeah.
They were like, it's cool.
Yeah.
Right. But people online, they're like, oh, you said that this religion is wrong. You should not say it, blah, blah, blah. People from Bihar, India were commenting. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know how to speak English.
Yeah. See, that's the whole thing, though. I mean, and I get a lot of hate from, it just happens to be, a lot of foreign exchange students who English is not their first language. So they're not understanding the double nuances all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it kind of goes. Now, I mean, we kind of already touched into this, dealing with hecklers and, things at your show. What is the best way that you kind of, navigate through them? Like, or have like you have a story where someone's talking a lot of shit to you while you're doing your act?
Oh, I do have a story, but like first, like how to tackle them. Like I believe everyone has their own like tested ways.
Yeah.
For me, what works is like you never get aggressive.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, because once you
then you lost it.
Yeah, once you get aggressive, other people in the room, except for that heckler, knows that, okay, it's affecting you.
Yeah, this guy's upset.
Yeah, this guy's upset. And once like the audience sees that, they're immediately like push you away. It's kind of like winning them over or keeping them with you when you are going against this heckler, right? So always like be in that joyful mood and always telling jokes. And if people like you, you can say whatever you want. Yeah. They will be with you. So what happened once was I was on stage. I was doing this joke about like certain person doing brown face and certain person doing white face, right? And this old white lady in the crowd, she was super fucking drunk. She was drunk. She was hammered,
having
right?
A good time.
Right. She was having a good time. She was having a good time up until this point. She was enjoying the show. Yeah. I was like 15 minutes in, right? Yeah. And everything was going good. Everybody was fucking laughing, enjoying the show. And all of a sudden, I did this joke about like I said something about white people. Right, and everybody laughed, and she in the middle of the room stood there, started yelling, and like, "I'm gonna punch you in the face!" Right, and I'm gonna punch the turban off you. And I'm like, "Really, bitch? Did you just say that?" Yeah. Right, and I'm like, "You know what, Granny?
That's fucked."
Yeah, this is what I said. I'm like, "You know what, Granny? I would have thrown hands with you. Yeah. But you're fucking 70 over. I don't want to kill you with a heart attack." Yeah. And everybody fucking laughed, and she sat down, and her husband was like, "Dude, I'm really sorry."
Yeah.
But you also have to like look into like what room are you in?
Yeah.
Because I did a private gig, right? And me and my buddy Taseed, and he will remember this. He will fucking remember this. I had a joke about chiropractors, right? And I didn't know it was a family private event, Christmas party, right? They invited us in for comedy. We were doing great. It was absolutely fun. Like I almost had 5 minutes or 10 minutes left. Yeah, like we had like 1 hour booked, so I only had like 10 minutes left of that, and I started doing this chiropractor joke and. There was one lady of the family. She was a doctor. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't believe chiropractors are real doctors because there are no brown chiropractors out there, right?
Yeah.
There are only white people, right? And then she got
one of my friends is a chiropractor. Shout out Pain Free Health Clinic. You know,
is he? No, the only question I can ask is he brown?
Yeah, he is.
Don't go to him. Because chiropractor in a brown household can never be your first choice. Can never be your first choice.
Pain Free Health Clinic. Go check him out.
But anyways, jokes apart, she got offended, right? She got offended. She's like, oh, you don't know anything about chiropractors. One of my buddies is chiropractors. And I'm like, I get it. You're trying to fuck him, but this is just a joke. But then that literally like brought the room down. And you cannot like...
You can't go back at that point.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
Plus, if it's like a family event, there's no point you trying to win the crowd over because they're not gonna like go against the family member with you, right? But then after the fun part was everything ended after the show. People are like, "Hey, you did great. Sorry for that incident." Blah, blah, blah. Her husband comes over. Yeah. He goes, "She's a strong lady. She does it sometimes." I'm like, dude, it's okay. Yeah. You have to deal with it every day. Yeah. You have to deal with it every day. I'm fine. Like I did my job. I did my job. I made people laugh. I'm getting paid. I was fed.
There you go.
My job is done.
There you go.
But that's how like you have to know what room you are in. And sometimes what happens is if you are offended with somebody shouting at you, and you show that you're upset. Once you have shown that, never back down. Keep going at it. Keep going at it. And that's pretty much what I believe is a way to like deal with a heckler. Yeah. Other than like, you don't have to throw any tantrums on stage.
Absolutely.
Because you have to act professional no matter what.
What's that feeling of bombing like? And I mean, I'm sure you've done, how many sets have you done? Did you say over 100 now?
Oh, I'm pretty close to 300 something.
300 sets. So you're fairly comfortable on stage now. Do you still have nights where it's just flat and you can't get anything off?
I still have like there is one odd night every here and there when people are like not feeling it or like some of your jokes don't like get to them, they don't resonate with what you're trying to say. Like as you keep doing this stuff, you will be more comfortable and you'll learn how to like turn things around. Yeah, for sure. But once you, I think the bad part, I don't want to say the bad part, but it's kind of like when you are so much into it, even if people come to you like you did a good job, but in your head, it was not the best night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It was not the best night. But it happens. But the only thing, like, I believe, like, if you start doing stand-up comedy and you bomb early, like within like 10 sets, 15 sets, you learn the feeling and you learn how uncomfortable it can get in a room and how, like, if you are at an open mic and if you're bombing, 5 minutes feels like eternity. They feel like eternity.
Absolutely.
People like looking at you, the crickets in the room, right?
And the worst thing, I guess, is that consolation prize. I mean, you kind of just touched on it where people come up to you and say like, oh yeah, you did okay. Because people almost want to support that you got up there. But like, that's not what any of us, show up to an occasion to perform to do. We don't want people just being like, oh, you showed up and that was fucking good. Whatever. Like, no big deal, right? You want that. You need to be satisfied with the work.
Like, people know, most of the people who are there to watch comedy know that it's not easy to get on stage and talk to people about your thoughts, right? But, and people are supportive for that, for sure. I believe, like, early in anybody's stand-up career, if they are on stage and they bomb, they do need somebody to talk to them and say, like, you did okay, you did good. It was the room, or you can work on this, on that. But once you are doing this for so long, okay, people are coming up to you just so that you don't feel bad. Yeah. Right? But I have also had, like, nights where, so I was in a competition, right? And the competition works on votes when if you bring your friends in, they vote for you, then you like win the night. I don't have any friends in Canada, right? No. I'm the only person. I'm the only person. Maybe it's how I think. I don't know, but like it's like I'm the only person from my family in Canada. Yeah. Right. So I don't have any friends. So I'm like, I don't give a fuck, right? I was a leading contestant in that competition. Okay. Right. They had like 40, 50 people in there. I was at that point I was number 2.
Oh, wow.
right? So
Number 2 is the first loser, by the way.
yeah. Thanks for rubbing it in my face. So what happened that night was this guy, he brought a lot of friends in, and they voted for him, and he won the night, right? But the most, so I was like, I was not disappointed, but it kind of like you always, when you compete with someone and you don't like finish first, you feel like, okay, it's not feeling good.
No, of course, it feels
like you feel like you should have won.
Yeah.
And you know you did great, right?
Yeah.
But that night, kudos to that like lovely white lady. I was walking out and she goes, hey, we are from Calgary. If you're ever in Calgary, let us know. We want to have a show with you.
Yeah.
They said that to me and I was like, my night is done. Like
I won the win.
Yeah, I won the night. Yeah, I won the night. So it's like odd. Is those odd experiences and encounters with people. But you got to understand, when you open yourself up to people, people can say whatever they want, because you get to say whatever you want.
Yourself there.
Because you get to say on stage whatever you want. People have the same right; they can say whatever they want.
Yeah,
you have to be. Yeah, you have to be straight in your head. Like, okay, don't let that affect you. If you bomb, you bomb.
Yeah.
Like for me, and I believe for most comics, if they bomb, the urgency to go on stage back increases. The hunger increases. They're like, we want to go back.
Because you know that wasn't your best version. You know what you got. And you know that if you just didn't feel like it, like, or feel like the right energy, you know that you have more, right?
Absolutely.
I think, if you bomb on something and you do shitty at something and you don't get back, like, that's the real loss.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you stop, like if after bombing a night and you stop like going on stage, then it's like, okay, you never loved the game enough.
Yeah.
It's about,
to
absolutely.
Right? Okay, fair enough. Let's get into some fan questions or supporter questions. Again, I don't like calling them fans. This one's from Sanju. MCU or DC, your favorite superhero? So go.
I do like MCU. Mean, Man, hands down, favorite superhero. Yeah. If I have to pick anyone from DC, I'll pick Batman.
I mean, for Marvel, I think it'd have to be Spider-Man, and DC for sure, Batman. Who doesn't like a dark, suave, sophisticated guy? So have you seen Sweet Bobby yet? This is actually a really good one.
No, I haven't.
Okay, this is spoiler alert. So Sweet Bobby's a documentary right now. It's about these two people from England. Well, it's mostly even just this one girl. Essentially, she's 34 at the time. She just got out of like a long-term relationship, thought she was going to get married. So from my perspective, the wiring in her brain is not from a position of power. You thought you were going to get married.
Usually every woman is like that. I'm just kidding. Guys.
34, the long-term relationship. She was with this guy for like 18 years on and off before, right? So her fucking world is collapsed. So she meets another guy online, Singh banda, clean shave Singh.
That's skeptical.
He's from Kenya though.
Yeah. or he doesn't have a family. Yeah. That's
So they apparently meet online, and the apparently is a big part. They meet online, they start, talking, and it becomes a very serious relationship. And then like the guy is just like, he always has an excuse for not showing up to meet with her. Eventually, like he says that, I'm having a baby with somebody else, and that relationship falls apart too. Then he gets shot apparently, and he has to go from witness protection from Kenya to America. So that's, the other thing. So now he's in this hospital. He suffered a stroke, and they have a long-term Skype, back and forth type of relationship where he only types, but she's on video.
Oh.
So she's probably fingering herself and doing...
Yeah, a lot of nudes being exchanged.
She didn't admit to the nudes. She said that's private, but like it comes back to why she probably said that. The whole time, eventually, like, I think her grandma passed away, and this guy said, I'll 100% be there over the Skype thing. He doesn't show up again.
Maybe he meant on the Skype. He'll be there on the Skype. He'll be on there in the Skype.
Apparently, she somehow finds where this guy's living, or where this guy's ex-wife or whatever is living. She goes to the house, and then she starts showing him things like, this is you messaging. And that guy's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've never met you in my life.
Oh, damn.
So she was talking to a different person the entire time.
She got catfished for 18 years. Women are dumb. Yeah. Hey, guys, this is just a joke.
No, not 18 years. This was another 10-year relationship after she was single. This is at 34.
Oh.
So she was locked.
So they don't learn from the experience. That's true.
But my whole thing is like, I think sometimes like there's all these red flags, right? She said 4 months into the relationship, she saw him at the club and he didn't recognize her, but she's like, oh, I just thought he was drunk. No big deal. So that passes. And then all these red flags are popping up, but she's just got these blinders on.
Mm.
And she's not looking to the outside world anymore, you know, because she's just like trying to justify, okay, yeah, this is why it's happening. This is why it's happening. And it turns out the entire time it was this girl's cousin who was fucking around with her the entire time.
Oh, the girl who was...
She made 60 profiles.
Oh, shit.
And communicating with the girl through various different friends or cousins or things like that, making up this entire array of story.
That's crazy.
How fucking crazy is that cousin?
That's crazy.
They don't give a reason as to why she did it either.
Get a fucking job.
Apparently she was a high up at a bank.
Really?
Yeah.
The cousin?
The cousin. She had to resign after all this came out.
Absolutely. I don't want to put my deposit in there anymore. Nope.
Fuck, man. But yeah, think about that. That's how fucking... I mean... The part that's not visited here is what did this girl who was targeted do to the cousin to make her do that? The cousin's a crazy bitch.
I'm thinking about that too. Like,
but she must have done something.
There might be something like nudes leaked or something.
Something, right?
No, I don't know, but there has to be something. Because I can't blame the cousin for doing something super out of like. Creating 60 profiles.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
And if you're investing that much time into something.
This bitch did something to you.
You were hurt.
Yeah.
Like somebody did something wrong to you.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe somebody touched you as a child. I don't know.
Yeah.
But something happened.
Something.
Right?
So the whole story is basically from her to 34 to 44 going through this online relationship. 10 years of an online relationship, you didn't see the guy once.
That's crazy.
Actually, yeah.
That's crazy.
How fucking crazy is she?
But if you think like that, like if you think about this, I feel I want someone like that to be in love with me.
Yeah.
Like who ignores all the red flags, has blinders on.
She's fucking crazy too.
Crazy white women. Shout out to you.
But no, these are brown people.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're all
we
brown.
We do have that in the brown community too.
But you gotta understand. I mean, especially for operating where marriage is placed at such a pedestal, especially for women. I mean, the Bande, everyone's like, honte kaja, get married, things like that. Like myself included, like my parents give me the grief. I'm 33 now, and maybe I should, but I'm in a long-term relationship. But they're kind of giving you this grief all the time. For the girls who have this biological clock and like all they ever talk about and all they ever do is go to each other's weddings and compare fucking lenge and bullshit and flowers.
I think that's
a big deal.
Like, this is what I don't like about women groups, like women in their own groups. Yeah. Like, they compare their lives to each other a lot.
Yes.
Right? Like, boys don't do that. Mm-hmm. Like, if you are in a long-term relationship, I'm not. I would never compare myself to you. Because we know, like, we both have different lives.
Yeah.
Women compare all this shit. Like, I've also had, like, somebody telling me a story, like, they literally talk to each other about their man's dicks. And I'm like, are you guys crazy? And imagine if a man was talking about his girlfriend's vagina with boys. He's fucking gonna die.
You don't talk about your girlfriends, but maybe girls that you had sex with.
Yeah, you never. I never said it, guys. I never said it. Long-term relationship? I don't know. I never said it.
Not your girlfriend, I said. You have to have that respect.
Disclaimer.
Until you break up. No.
Watch out. Watch out. That breakup is on the horizon. Watch out.
It's all coming out.
Delete all your nudes.
No. That's illegal. It's revenge porn. But yeah, so, I mean, it's just like, I think it shows the desperation of how people want to be in that long-term relationship committed. Because now she's 44. It's fucking over in terms of maybe being a mom, right? I mean, with modern technology, maybe they can still kind of get it going. But there's a good chance she'll never be a mother through natural birthing. Maybe she can do that. What's that thing where they get the twins?
Oh, the test tube babies?
Yeah, but they always have the twins. it comes out as
I think it's the test tube babies.
I guess so.
That's how they do
so
it.
you could get that going.
They come out weird babies. Sorry, guys.
But like, yeah. So,
but I believe
she's
like
44 now.
I believe it's also we have to think about the society we live in, especially the brown community. They push people, the young people, to marriage a lot.
Yeah.
So it's that pressure building up every day.
Yeah.
So you get desperate.
Yeah.
Right. I don't blame her for being desperate and ignoring all those red flags, because I can imagine, like, if you are like 27, 28, young women, your parents are on you all the time.
Yeah.
To get married.
Yeah.
And when that starts happening, people start ignoring red flags when you're desperate, right? So I don't blame her. I just want to talk to the crazy cousin, though.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck was going on with you two guys?
I really think you should make a part 2 and get her side of the story, because something had to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm okay with chalking up, crazy bitch, sure, but something had to have happened. There had to be a trigger.
There has to be something.
Why does she hate you so much?
I don't know. She's probably not the favorite cousin, though. I can believe that.
This chick was
you're not invited to the wedding, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen Sweet Bobby, check it out. Great documentary, and just a nice little insight. This is kind of a boring one. Uncles drinking on construction sites.
Oh, that's a must. That's a must.
I mean, you put water in a desert,
Yeah, absolutely. That's a must. Like, are you kidding? Are you guys not drinking over here? I don't know.
It's all, at the end of the day, you work hard, you wake up at 7, you get to the site, you probably wrap up around 4 or 5, and you have a little moment of peace before you have to go home to your wife.
Yeah.
So you may as well be a little lit before.
Oh, absolutely. Start drinking in the noon, in the lunchtime. I don't give a fuck.
Winter time, the uncles are drinking.
True story. When I was in Toronto, I was working as a security professional, right? Security guard, right?
Security guard,
right? And nobody's gonna hire me after this. Nobody. That's what they call us. That's what it said on my paycheck, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a security guard. Okay, I'm a security professional. But true, so nobody's gonna hire me after this.
Yeah.
But I did have like a small amount of whiskey with me on those winter days.
Yeah.
Because all I had to do was sit in my car.
Yeah.
At a site, watch movies in the night from 11 to 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? All by myself. So I was like, what the fuck? And it's like snowing minus 25, 30 degrees. I had a couple sips.
Yeah.
Every now and then. And it's okay. It keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
It keeps you sharp.
Keeps you warm. Keeps it fun.
It keeps you warm. Like,
we're going to touch on that in a little bit too, the drinking part. Trades uncles who go to happy ending massage parlors. I mean, doesn't happen, guys. I mean,
I've never been to a massage parlor.
Yeah.
Never. I've been like, people, my buddies are like trying to push me. He's like, you should experience that. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I don't like those like happy endings.
Yeah.
But it's not happy. A happy ending is when you get to fuck.
Yeah.
That's
hand job's not bad.
That sounded funny in my head. Let's move on.
So yeah, I mean, uncles definitely aren't going to those, so let's just not even do that. So if you see a charge for a massage parlor,
reach out to aunties.
Yeah. My motivation to podcast or stand up and my biggest inspirations. Yawn. What a fucking boring question. But I appreciate it nonetheless.
Way to bring the energy down.
My motivation to start, I don't know. I like hearing myself talk, and I like to give myself some self-importance. Sukh, why'd you get into comedy?
Well, as I already said, like, I didn't want to kill myself after my day job.
Yeah.
And then I always enjoy, like, I've always been like those, jokester kids in the group where, like, keep joking. You can never be serious. In the most fucked up situation, you and your buddy are always laughing.
Yeah.
So I've always been like that. So I was like, why not give it a try? And once I started doing it, I'm like, let's just keep doing it.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorites, by the way?
I don't know if people in Vancouver will approve this, but I love Bill Burr a lot.
Okay, yeah. No, Bill Burr's awesome out here.
Bill Burr is awesome. I love Andrew Schultz. I love Shane Gillis nowadays. He's fucking killing it. He has a big mouth, though. Like, he talks a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. People,
you need guys to push the envelope, though,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like the comedy scene is turning back to more open thoughts where people are not worried about what's going on, and he said that, he bashed women, he made a joke about like those retard kids. It's okay, it's totally cool because at the end of the day, it's just jokes.
Yeah.
So I love Shane Gillis for that.
Okay. You know, it is kind of like, I think people will look back on like 2014, 2015, 2016, like as that super liberal era where you couldn't say anything without being canceled. Like that era is kind of past now. Like I think people are getting back into it. It's become more of like a raw, open format. Like, people are just tired of being policed.
And I believe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because for an art form like stand-up comedy or comedy in general, is you have to be raw with what you think. Because if I'm thinking so I was flying in, right?
Yeah.
I was flying in. I was sitting right next to a white lady. Mm-hmm. She was probably in her 60s doing crosswords, right? So typical white lady, right? And I was chatting with my buddies before we started flying. We were talking about 9/11.
Yeah.
We're talking about 9/11, and I started writing about this joke. I was like, hey, I never joke about 9/11, right? Because people take it too serious. Yeah. Right?
I think enough time has passed.
Right? And you don't have tall buildings, so don't give a fuck, okay? But then I started talking about 9/11, and some people are like, that's too sensitive of a topic to talk about. But then it's funny to me.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if I talk it on stage, I can make it funny too.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll give it a try for 3-4 times. If it doesn't fly, it doesn't fly. Mm-hmm. Just like the 9/11 plane, but it's okay.
It's a comedian right there.
But those people did fly for some time before hitting the ground. Okay, let's move on.
There it is. You're getting the A grade right here. Hey, have you ever heard of this? Man versus bear. Who would win in a fight? Or this thing that girlfriends all talk about?
If it's about, I've heard about this bullshit.
Okay. What is the premise though? I don't even know.
So it was apparently a guy, those people who interview people on streets.
Yeah.
Those people who don't have jobs, or as we call them, influencers or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to influencers out there. He asked the question on a street randomly. He was like, "Hey, who would you be?" Or for two women, is like, if you are in the wild, are you safe with a bear or a man? Yeah. And the women are like, with a bear. And I'm like, are you guys fucking stupid?
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking kill you the instant.
Yeah.
He sees you. And women are like, no, we feel pretty safe. A man sees us. He's always thinking about, raping us and all that shit. I don't want to say that.
I'll tell you.
I don't want to say that word, but this is what women said.
Nobody wants to sleep with the hiker chick. Number one.
Absolutely.
They're unclean.
They are.
Because it's like a fucking 3-4 hour trek. You're sweating.
It is.
Everything's not too fresh down there.
It is.
And generally, you got the hiking boots, which stink. So there's a smell coming on, and I think a lot of
there are pretty gross women out there.
Hikers shit in the woods.
Yeah, they do.
So the hygiene's not there. So believe me, most men that are worth their weight in gold or whatever are not looking to
this is like a stupid question.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's a wild.
So it's about who you feel safer with.
Yeah. That's a fucking wild animal. Yeah. And women are like crazy. 10 out of 10 women were like, we will be safe with a bear. And I'm like, are you guys stupid?
But what's the man? I guess maybe they're thinking about a rabid man.
No, it was just a normal man.
Normal guy?
They literally specified in it. It's a normal guy. So they're like, if you're tracking in the woods, you see a man and you see a bear, who you feel safe with? They're like, with a bear. I'm like, but then if you look deep into it, if a bear kills you, he starts eating you
while you're alive,
ass up.
Yeah,
that's why women like the bear.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's why. So men, watch out. You got competition. But that's a stupid question.
Yeah,
hands down. If you are in any problem, you'll shout out to the next man in the room or anywhere in the woods or anywhere.
Actually, come to think of it, okay, so bears will leave you alone if you stand completely still. Men will not leave you alone if you stand still.
Because we want to.
Oh wow, she's down.
Yeah, because we want to figure out what the problem is. How's your day been? A bear doesn't give a fuck about how your day's been.
Yeah. So maybe they're right. If you tell a bear to fuck off and you're threatening to it, though, it might attack you. Whereas a man will, most men are kind of scared of women, and they tell you to fuck off, you're going to, oh, fuck. Get out of here.
Men go flying out of the room.
Yeah.
If you tell them to fuck off.
99 out of 100 guys will back the fuck off.
Yeah.
There's maybe 1% of guy who will be like, no, fuck that.
And I want to know that 1%. who they are.
You need to drop a hard fuck off to most guys though, because
Yeah.
if you're just kind of like, I don't know, no,
But
then
yeah,
they'll
that's the thing.
continue to pursue.
That's one issue. I believe in today's
Don't fuck off.
world and ages with women is like they like to keep the door slightly open.
Yeah.
So, and as a man, if you know the door is slightly open, you will try to get in no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the door. Just to be sure. Right? But then that's the thing.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like if you say no, then it's a no.
A hard no.
It's a hard no. It's a no.
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh no, don't do this. That's a fucking yes.
Oh yeah.
In every
Sukh said that.
no long-term relationships for a reason.
No means yes, according to Sukh.
Well, okay,
right.
If you are in bed with a woman and she says, no, let's not do this.
Yeah.
Do you take that no as a no?
Yes.
No. I can see the lie in his eyes.
Again, it is, I think I've kind of grown up in that. And I mean, how old are you?
I'm 28.
28. So we're the same generation. The thing is, like, we have kind of grown up in this consent era, basically, right? So if a girl does tell you like a hard no, then you're going to be, whoa, what the fuck?
Absolutely.
I don't want to get into this kind
Absolutely.
of shit. But absolutely, if it still is kind of like a playful no, that is kind of just a build up into what it is. Maybe we'll get flamed for this one. I don't know, but
there's a
which girl has ever been like, Meri Lalla right now?
no one.
Never.
No. If that was the case, men would be virgins for life. Right?
All right, guys, we interrupt you for a quick shout out to one of my sponsors, Cool Cat Apparel. Shout out my boy, premium quality goods. He's got the Punjab hoodie. He's got so much new shit coming out. Limited drops. Be one of the cool cats. Get yours today. All right, guys, I want to thank you for listening. If you made it this far, please subscribe, like, comment, share, tell all your friends. This is the hottest podcast, and it helps the channel a lot, so I appreciate it. Carry on.
But then there's a joke. Bill Burr does this joke. Which is super funny to me. Like if you are having a conversation with a woman, and you are intimate, and you're having a playful conversation, and she says a playful no to you, and then you go to divorce. Yeah. And the guy who right, and he's like, oh, she was saying no, don't do this. Let's not do it. That's a bad depiction of what actually happened. Yeah. Right. So if you want someone to fuck off, tell them fuck off.
Yeah. I think girls should be a little ruder. But then I guess there are certain guys like, oh, you fucking bitch, you could be nicer. There are some crazy fucking guys out there, man.
We have to. So there's this one thing.
There must be a way to be polite but stern.
So you have to understand who you're talking to. So if you're talking to someone new, for instance, they will push you into changing your no to a yes, for sure. But if for instance, you're talking to your ex, which by the way, I don't understand. Yeah. Right? You have to tell them, no, I don't want you anymore in my life. Yeah. If you don't want them, right? There's no such thing as, oh, I want to be polite to him. Yeah. No, he's your fucking ex. Yeah. It even goes for the men. Yeah.
Just the middle finger.
Just show the middle finger. just show the middle finger and like fuck off. Yeah. And these days, like I was watching like on a video, the guy was showing Tinder or something, dating profiles of women, right? This lady had this listed in his in her bio, said, "I'm loyal," right? That's a plus. And I'm like,
that's a bare minimum.
That's the bare minimum you have to have in a relationship. How did being loyal be the best quality of yours in a relationship? Like this is how fucked up the generation has gotten. It's like you risk a relationship over being rude. I will be rude if I have something going on with someone.
100%.
Right? And I know this has future. I'll be rude with anyone I have to. Yeah. And you have to understand that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So there it is. I mean, there must be a way for girls new guys, there has to be a nice way to kind of be very stern. Yeah. But you can't give an inch of keeping the door open. Nope. That's being no.
Don't keep the door open.
Some guys will be like, come on. Be like, no. Yeah. And then I think most guys will back off. There's the random idiot who might not.
They will.
But most guys will back off. Yeah. So,
there are some.
Maybe I don't know the solution. Maybe there is one. Here's a good one. Best way to acquire free pussy. I mean, I love the questions that come here.
Dude, this is a brown podcast, okay?
So, best way to acquire free pussy. I mean,
get married.
Oh no, then you're losing it. That's not free at all.
Free pussy, all. Free pussy, all. I actually did this joke when I'm like, I asked a couple in the room, I was like, "Hey, you guys married?" And they're like, "No, we're not."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Yeah, then so you surely fuck."
Yeah.
Because I've heard that all the sex happens before the marriage.
Yeah.
After marriage, it's just men begging.
Yeah.
Right? Which is true, which I believe is true. But I don't know. I don't have any like thoughts on how you can. There's no such thing as free pussy.
Free pussy. I mean, I guess like if you can build yourself up into a certain person, if it's a person of influence, even if you're like a high level business guy, you still probably have to pay for pussy in terms of dinners and purses and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if girls just want to fuck with you just because you're high level.
Oh, you can get a free pussy, and this is how you can have a free pussy all day long. Get one installed. You can do that these days.
Oh yeah, there you go.
You can go. You can get that. You can do that these days.
I guess if you become a person of influence, like if we ever hit that level, and bitches are just throwing ourselves at us.
Oh, they do all the time.
I mean, chuckle fuckers.
When you're famous, they do it all the time.
But I mean, do you get that ever?
I have had certain experiences. There was one lady from US.
Nice.
And she's like, probably in her 30s or something, mid 30s. She's
good looking or decent?
Was that?
Was she good looking or decent?
She was good. She was good looking. She was good looking.
Okay.
She was good looking, thick lady.
Oh, okay.
And then she goes, I had my set and she enjoyed the set. She goes, I really like the jokes you did. Let's get married. I'm like, how did the conversation go from jokes to marriage? That's no joke.
Might just be one of these crazy bitches from online that got the blinders on.
Yeah, she was
Sweet Bobby.
Shout out to Sweet Bobby.
Yeah, sweet Sukh. Okay. Okay. Here's actually a really good one. As we are 6 Sardars in the game of creative ventures and things like that, how do you deal with the expectation that you're supposed to be serious all the time and not make jokes and not badnaam the qawm and not disrespect the turban and all that kind of shit?
I still don't understand what like all these comments mean.
Yeah.
Like don't shit the turban, badnaam nahi karna qawm nu, all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm just out here making jokes.
Yep.
Right? And I believe like this comes mostly from people from older generations.
Yes.
Right? Because they have never had
bled into the young ones.
I mean,
it definitely has, because I think there's a lot of young guys who are really, on everyone's ass about what a proper Sikh should be, what it means to be proper.
And it's not
Sikh.
just about Sikh. Yeah. It's about every religion.
Yeah.
I've seen like people from, say, Muslim religion talking to a guy, be like, you are not a proper Muslim, you should not do this, you should not do that. But I'm like, I believe the thing in any religion is treat everybody in a good way.
Yeah.
Right? You do get to educate them, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's not like, if you don't do this, we're going to fucking kill you. No,
yeah.
That's not. And if you say that to someone, nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to give a fuck.
Absolutely.
And that literally pushes people away from religion, right? But I believe if you are in the creative world and you say you do podcasts, you're into stand-up comedy, or you're into music or something, because people get shit about music too, right? Just do your stuff.
Yeah.
Just do your stuff. I mean, in the end, the ultimatum is going to come like one day everybody's going to die. Yeah. For sure. I don't believe nobody's this insane to come after you for like a 15-second joke or like a 2-minute song or like a podcast. Because they don't, first of all, they don't listen to the whole thing. They don't know the context of why you were saying stuff, right? And it kind of like goes with every group these days. Like, for instance, I didn't get into trouble, but I was like in conversations with one of my friends who are from the LGBTQ community, right? I never did a joke on LGBTQ. It was just like a crowd moment where the guy was doing stuff and he was literally like licking his lips, looking at me. I'm like, are you fucking... all I said was like, for a moment, I thought you were just a woman because you were sitting in front of the stage with 3 other women. And then he had a man bun. Right now, tell me,
Very close to being Singh.
Right. He had a man bun, and then he started licking his lips. He untied his man bun, and he was like waving his hair, looking at me and those slutty. And I'm like, "Are you fucking gay?"
He wanted to add you to the cock trophy room.
Yeah, and I'm like,
"I never fucked one of these guys before."
Yeah. And all I said is, "Now I believe you're gay."
Yeah,
and people from the community started coming up to me like, "You should not say it." I'm like, I saw it. I said it.
You wanted to suck my dick.
Yeah. And should I wait until he fucks me?
Yeah.
Right?
Mouth is a mouth, though.
Right? You can catch him in an open mic soon, guys. He's going to go on stage soon.
And he's probably better at it than most girls.
Probably. Never checked. But that's the thing. Like, people say stuff all the time.
Yeah.
All I have to say to the people, I don't want to say the haters or something, but all the people who comment, just get a life.
Yeah.
Get a life, do something or at least listen to the whole stuff.
Yeah.
Try to understand the context of why somebody said something.
Yeah. See, I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of police, what it means to be a good Sikh, and like everyone's got this whole thing. And I swear to God, it always comes from these guys that, are wearing bucket hats and, caps while they're on their vacation.
I got a comment.
They're telling me that I'm not a Sikh for whatever
reason. Yeah, I got a comment on one of my TikToks. This guy started commenting. He goes, "Oh, you should understand. You're a Sikh. You should not go to these comedy clubs because they have drinks there. They have alcohol there." And I'm like, "Are you stupid? You live in fucking Canada. You live in Canada." Canada is known for like beef, beer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Go back to India and then say it.
Well, what are you going to go back to India for? Okay, everyone's doing fucking fame. Everyone's smoking opium. Everyone's smoking smack. What? Oh, I'm a Sikh, so I don't live next to these people?
That's the thing.
In your fucking bali wala kar, in your goatee, chances are likely one of the people in that family are fucking hitting the tinfoil.
I mean, absolutely. Like, you see a lot of people in Punjab even like doing drugs and everything, which is a problem.
It's a problem.
But it happens.
Yeah.
But it happens. People need to understand, like, theme is a big thing in Punjab, and it happens. But then, so for some reason, if you are a turban-wearing Sikh, you are not allowed to enter a comedy club where there are drinks. That doesn't make sense.
Make any sense. But
no sense at all.
It is what it is, Like Maharaj and Ranjit Singh, guys, those guys are partying.
Yeah. And then I'll give you. So I'll give you. I'll give you the argument people will have. Oh, he was a king. He was from that royal descent, and I'm like, that doesn't make a difference. He was a Sikh. That's it. But then, just move on with your life.
Yeah.
If you don't like
bigger problems.
If you don't like something, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Nobody's forcing you to come to my page or come to your page and watch what we are posting. Don't do it.
We kind of touched on this a little bit when we were just hanging out before, but
drinking beer.
Well, having a beer, yeah. But like as we kind of get more exposure in the space, and like over this last year, like I had a pretty big year in terms of. Like, obviously, I'm not where I need to be in terms of the exposure, but I had a big year where now my family members and stuff like that are starting to understand that I'm out here doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And this is like a pretty hard part where you're not quite there where it's like a living, but, you're still out there enough that you're kind of basing yourself.
You're making your moves.
Is what they're saying, right? Is that, tu besti na kare, whatever, right? How do you kind of deal with you getting more and more exposure, and like you're gonna have to have those conversations with maybe your mom and dad and things like that? Because I can tell you, my dad's not too pumped about it. He's like, I'm too stupid. No
brown parent will be for sure. Like I never told about any of these absurd incidents to my mom and dad. Right? My dad. Here's the thing. Especially when you are an immigrant in Canada, you are the only one living here. They're still back home.
Yeah.
All they're worried about is like you making a living.
Yeah.
Right? You making an honest living out here and not getting in trouble. Right? So my dad is like, make a living.
Yeah.
Like, earn money. Mm-hmm. That's it. But when I talk to my mom, every time I tell her, hey, I'm going on this show. Because I talk to my mom almost every day.
Yeah.
Almost every day. And then I talk to her, and every time she goes, when you're on stage, don't talk about religion.
Yeah.
Don't talk about politics. Don't talk about anybody who's big in the game. And I'm like, okay, then what should I say? There's nothing left to say, right? The only I think good thing or lucky thing for me is my mom and dad don't understand English that much, so they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
all they know, sometimes they know that you were talking about because they catch those keywords, right?
Yeah.
In a conversation, they're like, oh, you were talking about the religion, or you were talking about the politics, or you said something about Justin Trudeau.
Yeah,
right. Which I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Trudeau, man. Go Libs.
Yeah. Go to trash.
Yeah.
Go Libs, go to trash.
Next question. Would you beat your kids? I mean...
Would I beat my kids?
Yes.
Is that even a question?
Yeah.
Like, are we asking like silly questions these days? Like,
I mean...
I got my ass smacked all the time.
Yeah.
So I have the right to do it.
And now you're... an alcoholic comedian.
And now I'm unmarried, 27.
Now you're an alcoholic comedian who embarrasses the religion by being in clubs. And things. So yeah, maybe you shouldn't have drank, or maybe you
it should be fair, right? I should give people to talk something about, right? Like, I'm gonna beat my kids.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, we all got shit kicked as kids, and
I'm gonna beat my kids. I'm gonna beat your kids. Watch out.
Is it an easy thing to blame as to why? Certain things in our lives are fucked up. Why we drink, why we haven't achieved quite what we want because, woe is me, our parents beat us, blah, blah, blah. Fuck no. You know what I mean? Getting beaten up straightens you out, man. It's way better for you, I think.
It is.
It's way better for you.
It keeps you in line. It keeps you in check. And there's no bigger fear than a flying chatra at your face. Yeah. There's no bigger fear.
I mean, maybe the thing is to an extent, you don't ever want to wail on your kid with the fucking clothes.
No. That never happened.
Yeah, that never happened.
That never happened.
But a few slaps here and there just to kind of straighten out.
Yeah, just keeping yourself in check.
I got a fucking awesome story about this. So I was 19, freshly started going to the club. We took the SkyTrain downtown from Richmond, well, a 30-minute SkyTrain, right? You have to park at the local mall, and then you hop on the SkyTrain, you go. Club night finishes, my battery died. My dad's called me a few times, right? He's like, where the fuck are you? Things like that. I'm not answering, right?
Worst situation to be in.
So I get back to Richmond. We get off the train or whatever. I pick up my car from the mall, drive back home. It's like a 5-6 minute drive, not too long, right? But I've had drinks. I'm feeling it. And I kind of get home. I put my key in the door, and the door magically opens, right? And my dad's standing there. And he's like, where are you coming from? I was like, oh, we went to Vancouver. He's like, how'd you get your car home? And I'm just like, and right away, fucking huge slap. And I was wearing glasses, right? My glasses are flying. And he's like, you fucking drink and drove? And then I'm like, he's like, go upstairs right now. I'll talk to you in the morning. But that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
And one good thing about that is, if you get slapped once, you don't have to do those awkward conversations.
Yeah.
Right? You just go to your room.
Yeah.
That's it. One slap, go to your room.
Yeah. There was a bit of a lecture the next day.
Yeah.
There was still a lecture, but, I think those are good because it's okay, I fucked up. And
then one thing that other communities, especially white households, have is kids can talk back.
Yeah.
In brown households, you cannot talk back to your dad, even if you're 40. Yeah. Right? Even if you're 50, you cannot talk back to your dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not a possibility. So yeah, it's it's a totally normal thing.
Yeah.
Getting smacked as a kid in a brown household. If I went without getting smacked for 2-3 days, I always talk to my dad, is something wrong?
Yeah.
Are you mad at me?
Absolutely.
Are you mad at me? Something wrong? I'm because it happens.
You're doing good.
And I love my dad.
Yeah.
I love my dad to death. I love my dad to death. And he has given me everything he could have possibly done for me. Everything.
Yeah.
Right? So what? He smacked me
a little bit.
Not a little bit, too much. Too much, but so what?
Yeah.
So it made me tough.
We're better for it.
Yeah.
The last one. Okay, how to control. Now, this is actually an interesting one because some guy actually said, he's like, oh, my drinking's gotten a little bit out of hand. He's like, what's a better way to kind of control it? And I do want to touch on this because I think a lot of us in the community do have problem drinking, even though we don't have drinking problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think some of us, myself included, like, I don't drink that often, but when I drink, I drink. You know what I mean? And I like to get kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I need to, definitely overcome because, I don't like being in that cycle of not drinking for like 2 weeks. You get smashed one day and then you take 3 months or 3 days to kind of recover and, that kind of thing. Would you consider that a drinking problem? Because then, like, maybe you're fucked up for like 1 or 2 days afterwards. You're still young. It starts to really hit you once you're past 30.
Yeah, I'm too scared. Like every time I have any conversation about health, drinking, and people bring in this topic, people bring in this thing where like once you're past 30, things fuck up.
Yeah.
And I'm too scared because I only have 2 years to live.
Yeah.
That's it. But no, it is a problem. Like when you drink, when you don't drink for a couple of weeks and then you get hammered for one day and then you have to recover for the next 3 days, surely brings your productivity down.
Oh yeah, big time.
And it is a problem. But I believe that this is what I tried doing because when you are into comedy and you have to like go out every night, and if you drink every night, right?
Yeah.
It surely gets your tolerance up for alcohol.
Oh yeah.
But that's a bad thing, right? Yeah. So you're like, okay, nothing's happening. I don't feel the hit of alcohol anymore. Mm-hmm. So what I tried doing is I tried those non-alcoholic beers. I still do it. Whenever I'm out for the last like 3-4 months, I'm like, I'm not gonna drink any beer. I'm gonna go with the non-alcoholic beer, which tastes like beer, right? But the thing is, I still, while drinking that, I still feel it's hitting me.
Yeah,
and I believe it's the body saying, okay, it's the same kind of shit.
Yeah,
right. So that might be something that can help you if you're like way past saving. Go to some counseling or something.
And it is kind of getting. We're starting to see it a lot more, especially right now. Economy's not so good. People are still drinking because they're trying to just ride out the shitty times, right? Ride out the shitty time, not understanding that like this is when you kind of need to hunker down. One of my buddies gave me a great tip. And I don't know if you do this a lot when you're out, like maybe on like a bar night or something, is Opernay, we kind of have the tendency to order doubles because, we pour eggs at home, right? Which are like 2.5, 3 shots.
Yeah.
And we have a tendency when we're out to pour doubles. So 5 drinks is actually 10, 6 is, 12. Maybe you have, 6, 7 drinks throughout a night, whatever. That ends up being 14. And he's like, sometimes people do this because they think it's a better dollar value. Mm-hmm. I've never really thought about it like that because, once you're drunk, then the fucking card's flying anyway, right? But he's like, just stop getting doubles, get singles. He's like, and you can guarantee just kind of stretch it out. Or have a limit in your mind because like when I free flow a night, when I'm just like, okay, I'm going out to drink, then 5 turns to 10, 10 turns to maybe 15, whatever the fuck it is, right? But he's like, if you set a limit and saying I'm having 6 drinks, then that's it. You know what I mean?
See, the thing with setting limits is if you're going out on a bar night by yourself, you can have a limit, right?
Yeah.
But if you're going out with buddies, there's no limit out there.
But that's it though, right? I mean, that's the whole thing you got to kind of
I've tried doing that. Yeah. Then all of a sudden the conversation is all from all joyful conversation, it turns into like, tu pinda ka nahi pinda. And I'm like, okay, I don't care about my life. Let's do it. But that's the thing, like you can set a limit. You have to be super firm about it.
Yeah.
And you might be like literally upsetting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like you might be upsetting your friends, especially in the brown community when boys hang out.
Yeah.
They get upset over the idea of like, oh, you're not going to drink tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is this how it's going to happen? But yeah, the idea of not pouring doubles, having singles only, and probably like pushing the limit. And as I was talking to you earlier, is like every once in a while, cut the booze out.
Yeah.
Totally. No drinks at all. And try testing your limits, how far you can go.
Yeah.
For me, it's like as of now, I drank a beer today, but I drank a beer today after like couple months.
Yeah.
No alcohol.
Yeah.
And that resets your whole system.
Definitely.
It resets your liver. It resets your placebos and everything.
Yeah.
And when you start feeling the effect of one beer, you're in the normal world. You are just like normal people. But once that effect goes away, that means you need to cut the booze out.
Absolutely.
You need to cut the booze out. And it's whoever wants to cut alcohol, it's on them.
Yeah.
Like, people will force you. I still go out, people force me, like, hey, drink a beer, grab a beer. And I'm like, no, I'll just have my non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
Right? Because I like the taste of beer.
Yeah.
I like the taste
Absolutely.
I'm a fucking man.
Yeah.
Right? I'm turning into a pussy with non-alcoholic beers, but that's a different conversation.
Oh, yeah. No,
Right?
I love drinking, man. Honestly, I love, that feeling of like everyone's out, and having a good time. You're laughing, having some like awesome conversations.
Yeah.
You're going, that's fucking so much fun. But as you do age, more responsibility comes and lands on you. And if hangovers, not alcohol, if hangovers are getting in the way of those certain responsibilities, then you know that something needs to kind of give. And
absolutely. Like if the hangover, as I said earlier, is like if you are trying to recover 3 days from the hangover, that brings your productivity down.
Oh, yeah.
So 3 days worth of work has been neglected.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to work on that. Like, you can't be like, okay, I drink 1 day and then I recover 3 days. Yeah. So that's like 4 days out of the week.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing.
Yeah.
You're doing nothing. So you have to do it. But then also, like, once in a while when you drink, most of the funny stories, best stories come out when you're drinking with your buddies.
Yeah, of course.
Like my buddies visited, and I'm not proud of this. Okay, but I'm not proud of a lot of things, right? But me and my buddies, we were visiting. So they're from Ontario, right? They were visiting me in Edmonton. We went down to Banff and did all the crazy white people stuff, sightseeing and everything, right? And in the morning when we were leaving, so they were flying from Edmonton, right? So we had to go from Banff to Calgary and then to Edmonton. What we did is we did some edibles on the way. On our way back, you should not do it. By the way, never do edibles and drive. Right, right. Never do edibles and drive. But we did it. Right. Luckily, the guy who was driving, he's like, I'm not gonna do that much. Yeah. So he just literally took a small bite of like probably like a 2.5 mgs of a bite. Yeah. So it's not gonna
light work.
Affect him anymore. Right. But then every other person in the car was hammered, right? Yeah. We were high as fuck, right? So what literally happened is we did the edibles, we took a walk in Banff downtown, laughing, and people are like, "These guys are crazy," all that, because these were all those inside jokes started coming out, and those absurd stories, and we were laughing. And the moment everybody thought of like, how are we gonna go back? Yeah. The energy got down.
Oh, yeah.
The energy got... People were like tense. I was tensed as fuck.
Yeah.
And then we sat in the car. They made me sit in the front passenger seat. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. All the time, I was like looking at the guy who was driving. I was like, just be on the road. Watch the road. Because this is what...
bad spin.
Because he was driving, and all of a sudden he started talking about, guys, look how beautiful that... I'm like, no, dude. Watch the road. Watch the road. But yeah, like we had a lot of fun. Yeah. But it's not like... I don't advise anyone do it. Yeah. Right? It's not a good thing.
Drugs are pretty sick.
I never said it. This guy did, okay?
All right. On that note, I want to thank Sukh for coming out. No, it was actually awesome conversation. Like, and we still got a pretty long day ahead of us here. So, I'm looking forward to, just carrying on the fun here. But thank you guys. Subscribe, follow, shout out Sukh. You'll be seeing him in Vancouver soon for more stand-up and things like that. Yeah. And give him a follow while he's out here or while he's out there. Yeah, no, but he's got a bright future in comedy.
And we know who's drunk now, right?
Take care.
No, thanks for having me, man. It was lovely.
Thank you guys. Take care.